The sage and his only son. There was once a sage who had no children. Later, he had an only son, and he raised him and made him a wedding. The son would sit in an attic room and study Torah, as is the way with the wealthy. He would study and pray constantly, except that he felt within himself some lacking due to some deficiency, but he did not know what, and he had satisfaction from his learning and praying. His father answered him, "How did you come to decide that this tzaddik is worthy for you to travel to him? You are, after all, more scholarly and more pedigreed than he. It doesn't suit you to travel to him. Desist from this way," until the father thus dissuaded him from traveling to the tzaddik. The son returned to his learning, and again he felt the deficiency as mentioned above. And again he took counsel with the youths. Again he went to his father, and again his father diverted him and prevented him. This happened several times, for his father did not want to let his son travel alone, since he was his only son. So his father told him, "Look, I will go with you. I'll show you that this tzaddik is nothing at all." They harnessed the carriage and set out. The father said to his son, "With this I will make a test. If everything goes orderly, it is from heaven, and if not, it is not from heaven that we should travel, and we will return." They set out, and they reached a small bridge. A horse fell, the carriage turned over, and they nearly drowned. His father said to him, "You see that it's not going orderly, and the journey is not from heaven." They returned. Again, the only son told his father that we should no longer set up such a test, for this is natural that sometimes a horse falls or axles can break, unless it will be something very shocking. They traveled and came to an inn to spend the night. They met a merchant there, and they began talking with him as merchants are wont, not telling him that they are going to a tzaddik, for the sage was embarrassed to say that he's traveling to that tzaddik. They began speaking about worldly matters until the conversation came around the subject of tzaddikim, where tzaddikim are found. The merchant told them that in this certain place there is a tzaddik, and there. The sage and his only son returned home. The son died and appeared in a dream to his father. His father saw him standing in great anger. His father asked him, "Why are you so angry?" The son answered that he should travel to that tzaddik, the one to whom they had wanted to travel, and he will tell you why I am angry. He awoke and thought to himself, "It's a coincidence." Then he again had the same dream, and again he thought, "It's a meaningless dream." When he dreamed it a third time, he understood that this is no empty thing, and he traveled to the tzaddik. On the way, he met the merchant whom he had previously encountered when traveling with his son. The sage recognized him and said, "Aren't you the one I saw at that inn?" He answers him, "Certainly you saw me." The merchant opened up his mouth very wide, supernaturally wide, and says to the sage, "If you want, I'll swallow you up." The merchant was the Samech Mem himself, who disguised himself as a merchant and deceived them. Then when he met the sage the second time, he himself taunted the sage for having followed his advice. For such is the way of the evil inclination. Initially, he incites a person, and when the person follows him, heaven forbid, he himself taunts the person afterwards and takes vengeance on him for having listened. May the Holy One, blessed be, he save us from the evil inclination and bring us back to the truth proper. Amen.